or ChatGPT, what will it look like in 2026? Now, I predict, based on the trends that you can find either searching on ChatGPT or Gemini or other places, I predict that most people will start using generative AI either without noticing they're using it or like natural text. Like it'll be more natural. You won't feel like you have to wait and think to jump into ChatGPT to figure out what you're going to do. For those of you that haven't jumped into ChatGPT, I think we are overthinking it. And as I go to, because I do have notes and I want to make sure that people know that ChatGPT isn't scary, I believe that, first of all, you don't need to know everything about ChatGPT. I believe that we need to start simple and start figuring out how to focus on the one thing you want to get accomplished. And I don't mean, say, making a literal sandwich. I mean, even as simple as cleaning your house and you know that you're ADHD and you're all over the place, you go from one room to the next room, like maybe asking ChatGPT, like, how can I get more focused? And it'll help you as a thought partner, like an AI brainstorm buddy. I predict that we are going to start using ChatGPT or a generative AI like Gemini or just in specific search engines like Google. And you will just start asking a question. And at the very top, it'll start naturally giving you information. Now, I know it's already doing that, but I wonder how many people realize that that's a generative AI output. And I think based on what I'm reading and the research that I'm seeing is there's a prediction that most of us will start using it naturally and there will be an uptick in many companies adopting a particular platform. You know that many people, well, organizations like school districts or universities or even companies choose a platform. It might be Google, like the Google Suite, or it could be the OneDrive, Microsoft, wherever you keep all your documents in one place. Depending on which one will possibly depend on which platform your company might choose. I know that there are many districts that are dabbling, school districts that are dabbling in a little bit of everything, but that's from the adult perspective. School districts tend to be a bit behind, so we'll just table that for a moment. But from a big picture, from organizations are now thinking, well, how do we use generative AI so it doesn't, take our data and make it public? Like, how can we keep it safe? UCLA, for example, used the enterprise with ChatGPT and jumped right in and started asking their professors to integrate it into what the students are doing. So how can you get started and make ChatGPT easy? Like, how is ChatGPT going to be easy for you? And how is it going to be easy for you to sustain it where you don't think it's like this other thing, this separate thing you're doing? Now, quite honestly, most of us, when we need to do something, we tell somebody, go Google it. I've even seen my doctor look down and start Googling. I'm like, well, I could have done that. But the truth is there's a lot of research and information out on the internet. And we now know that ChatGPT can house it and do it faster, or Gemini or Copilot, whichever platform you're using. So, what this means for what you can say realistically and responsibly, just so you know, generative AI adoption is over 50% among adults. Whatever adults, the 20s and 30s may adopt it a little bit faster. My age group in the 50s, if you're not necessarily working in an organization where it's fast paced, you may not be even thinking about ChatGPT. You might be that's for them over there. Um, the usage is growing fast. AI is increasingly used not just for coding or technical stuff. I think that we as in the general public, like it's for the AI people, it's for the technology, it's for the computer programmers. The computer programmers, they created this generative AI and the large language models so that it is easy for us to use. And those of you that text, you talk to your phone, it's easy now. You don't even think about when you're walking down the street that you're, instead of typing a text or using your thumbs to text, you're actually just talking to your phone. And you've seen people do it. We're so comfortable with cell phones, for example, that if you go to a public restaurant, then their public restroom, and then you go into the bathroom, people are just on their phones like it's natural, like it's normal, and they have normalized it. And so much so that I don't even think people care if you flush the toilet while they're on the phone, which is somewhat comical. And if you are feeling like behind or overwhelmed, personally, you're not alone. You are so not alone. Even when I first started using ChatGPT, I felt like it was a lot. I felt like it was too much, and how could I make it easy? And I started to realize that there was a way. There was a way. So I'm going to tell you what I wrote down. Begin with one thing you're already thinking about and let ChatGPT help you clarify it. One thing. That's it. Whatever that one thing is, you can focus on it. And I gave an example of, say, you have a really large house and you typically, if you clean the kitchen and you want to just, like spring cleaning, or if it's the holidays and you have relatives that, they judge even though they should just let it go and just be with you. You're thinking, where in the house are they going to notice the dirt that you don't normally notice? You could ask ChatGPT to help you. You could take pictures of the rooms that you want to clean and ask ChatGPT, hey, I really want to clean this. I'm having family over. I don't want to feel like I'm being judged, even though I know I shouldn't be judged. What areas of this house could I keep clean so all I have to do is dust from here on out before the event, the Christmas event, or Thanksgiving's already passed, things like that. And then how do I stay in the one room? Because if you're like me, you start cleaning the bedroom and you're like, oh, this was like a towel that I washed and I folded it and I put it in the basket, but it really goes in the kitchen. But then you go to the kitchen, you put it in the drawer, and then you start doing what? You start cleaning the kitchen. Now, I've met a few people that they can focus on one thing at a time and they can clean that kitchen and never move out of it. I've seen on TikTok lately where people put a leash around them on their belt because they know they're going to walk away from the dishwasher, and then they literally do, and then they get stuck. Like, what is the one thing that you can get done and put it into ChatGPT to help you focus on getting things done better and faster? If you're in an organization and maybe there's this huge project that you have created, you've created the presentation and you pay for the account, or maybe your company pays for it, but you really haven't figured out how to use the platform, Copilot, ChatGPT, whatever, and it's not private data, for example, you can upload that presentation and say, where are the gaps? And is this too much? Are there too many words on the slide? How can I make this so concise and precise that whoever I'm presenting it to, give it context, say it, what can I do to clean it up? And ChatGPT will actually do that. I recently wrote a book with my twin sister. I will show it to you. It's called Noise to Navigation. And I took a few paragraphs from my book and I asked it to edit. I was like, just show me, and I didn't say redo it for me. Tell me where the edits need to be because I wanted to fix it. And then I said, it feels like I'm missing something in this one area, like 4 paragraphs. Where is the gap? And tell me what the gap is. Don't fix it for me so that I can go back and revise. Like, there's no reason why you can't. And now I have a project because the knowledge that you give it is yours. Like, you own the knowledge. You are the human, you are the pilot. Love that Microsoft called it Copilot because it is not the pilot. You are the pilot as to how you use generative AI. There are other things that you can use. If there's public data and say that you are doing research based on information that was on the National Center for Educational Statistics, and you want to grab the data and you know that the data feels like a lot, like you can throw it into ChatGPT, download the PDF, throw it into ChatGPT and say, on this page, there is data. Can you create a graph for me so that's easy for me to understand? Maybe that's not your area of expertise, reading graphs. You can ask it to create a new graph that makes it easier to understand. Now for me, that might sound easy, but remember, what is the one thing that you can start doing in 2026 to make ChatGPT easier for you so that you don't feel like it's this extra thing that you're doing? And I would even say if you're in education, how can you get it to maybe tweak a lesson plan that you're already doing? What's the gap? I have one student that is struggling in this one area and I don't even know how to reach the student. Maybe you're a veteran teacher and you want to spice up the classroom and make it more entertaining. Yes, as teachers, we are entertaining because we have to keep your attention for a period of time. There's something, I mean, even though students may not have access to it in your school district, you can get good at it because when they do, at least you'll have the background knowledge to understand how to have a conversation. If you're a parent and you have a struggling child in mathematics, one, please don't tell them was hard. Well, you didn't like math. Math is hard. Let's be clear. But with practice, anything you can get better at anything. Practice makes proficient, doesn't make perfect. Just like using ChatGPT. Maybe there's a math problem. You take a picture of the math problem and you ask ChatGPT with your child next to you, please explain this from the beginning to make it so that my son and I, my daughter and I understand it. Those of you that are parents and you're thinking you can't help your kids after, fifth grade, remember that show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Guess what? You are with ChatGPT now because you can help them with calculus. You can help them with physics. Now, if you have never read to your kids in physics, for example, as a parent, read the book. You don't need to know it. You articulate differently. Maybe English is your second language and you're in the United States and you are having trouble with helping your child. Take a picture of it, type it in your language and say, I need you to help my child, but answer this in English for my child and also answer it in my home language so that I understand what they're doing. Like, wow, like the things you can do with generative AI. There's so many things. You can even just something simple. Maybe, I mean, I was saying for a while, if you're just using it for recipes and correcting an email, you might be behind. No, you're not. You're really not. You are not behind. If it's just to correct an email because you don't want to send that angry email because somebody just sent it, correct it. Make this where it doesn't sound so antagonistic or angry, things like that. Maybe you just want to do a recipe. I recently saw a commercial during, I think it was one of the football games for on Thanksgiving, and ChatGPT showed the recipe that somebody asked about and just showed it as if it was like the beginning of Star Wars. It just kept going up. That's what ChatGPT does. I mean, why not? Why not start somewhere? Keep it simple. So those three things, I really believe that in 2026, people are going to use AI more naturally. It's just going to be something you normally do, just like when you pick up your phone, just like when you text somebody. I also believe that you don't need to know everything. One small daily practice is enough. One small daily practice is enough. And begin with one thing you already are thinking about that and let ChatGPT help you clarify it. Just think about that. And I think we can get better at what we do. And let me just hear myself. Make sure that I can hear myself on YouTube because I always wonder if somebody can hear me. So it is my hope that you have a wonderful weekend. I will be back trying to keep ChatGPT simple for the public. And if you want something difficult, put it in the comments and ask me. Tell me what you need with ChatGPT. Tell me how I can help you make ChatGPT better and more fun and user friendly. And have a great weekend. And I will see you